Good morning. Karen Scholl, Operations Section Chief with the Alaska Incident Management Team here on the McCash fire with the September 23rd briefing. So up in Branch 10, you'll probably notice on the map we did add another division. Just a little explanation of what divisions and branches, what all that means is we have a chain of command, and so the operations sections are divided up with the chiefs are at the top, the branch directors are right underneath the chiefs, and then the division supervisors are underneath the branches. And so branch 10 is supervising Oscar, November, Juliet, and then the North Structure Group. And then the south side is organized very similarly with branch 10 over Delta, Tango, Quebec, and South Structure Group. And then underneath each division, there's some middle management that we normally call task force leaders, heavy equipment bosses. So leaders and bosses are underneath the division supervisors. And that just allows us to have a good span of control and make sure that we know where our resources are and what they're doing out there, and that everyone just has one boss, not multiple bosses. So that's just a little bit on how we set up in the operations section. So for the update, we added Division Oscar. They're going to be up in the Huckleberry Mountain area, and we're going to insert some smoke jumpers into this area just due to the accessibility factors. They are the right tool. It's rugged country, and the plan for them is to hotspot and ensure that the spots at the very top of the fire don't continue to move toward the north or towards the east. So that's the plan for those folks. They'll be in there a couple of days at least, hot spotting and taking care of the slopovers just that are on the north side of Huckleberry Mountain. As we move across in the Cougar Creek Road, they continue to brush that, just improving it for visibility and safety concerns, and then also patrol and monitor along this area. So we get down into Elk Creek and crews continue to work cleaning up patches of unburned fuel. And what that means in some places is putting a few strips of fire down to make sure that the fire's edge comes right to the control line. And so that's happening along the Elk Creek Road, or Elk Creek, and then down in the bottom. It's also happening along the Chicken Ladder Road as it departs off the ridge, off of Titus Ridge. So there's a little bit of cleanup happening there. It's very small scale, for us small scale, couple acres up to like a half a mile worth of cleanup. It's nothing large scale. As we move across off of Titus Ridge, crews continue to work the slop over that occurred multiple days ago, mopping that up. There are still smokes that are popping up with the drying, and so we'll continue to see that. So it's a long process where crews go through an area, they mop up everything that they can see, and next day they come back and go through it again, and anything they missed they take care of. So it's a very long process and pretty organized. So they're working their way through the slops there. They're working their way on the slops as it drops down into Elk Creek. As we get into the 88 bowl, which is this unburned bowl of fuel here, crews have prepped. We did put some plastic sphere dispensers in there, PSD. 2 days ago. Yesterday they added a little bit more, and we're just trying to clean that up, take care of all the unburned fuels so that we don't have control issues later on. Planning today to go ahead and continue with that to fill this all in. So eventually this little pocket here will all be filled in. As we move further to the west along Independence Creek Road, today crews are going to go in and start brushing that road. Brushing it means removing the brushing material along the sides of the road, just off the road bed, for better visibility and trying to make that a just more viable and safe road to travel in that area. A few hot spots pick up now and again, so they'll also be patrolling. 96 corridor is looking real good. From Independence Point all the way down towards the Yukonom Mountain Lookout. Again, we're trying to snag the road up to the lookout, and it's proven to be just a difficult process due to the snags in the area, and so we're continuing to work on that. The North Structure Group continues up in the Elk Creek area, Happy Camp, and Independence area. We're also providing initial attack support to the forest in case there's any new starts. So the North Structure Group is working with the local entities to have a plan for that. As we get down into the western side of the fire, everything's looking real good. Again, a lot of just patrol, some from the road, some from the air, keeping an eye on everything that we've already done and ensuring that everything stays put. It's all looking really good there. You'll see some work today, probably on the T-Bar Road and Pattison Road, as we're starting to get some road grading on the graveled portions of that road, trying to improve it from all the activity that had happened previous to us arriving. So they're planning on doing some work there. And then as we get down to the lower part of the fire, work continues in the Black Mountain area. We're improving a trail to potentially burn, small-scale burn again, to clean up an area that has potential to spot into some unburned fuels. It is surrounded by this old burn, and but we're taking a look at this. We're not sure if we're going to do it, but we're getting prepped for it, and so that's a potential future project, and we'll see how the fuel conditions, the weather conditions, if and when we plan to do that. So we also continue to improve the Camp 3 road with some brushing and what we call straightening of the lines, which basically means putting hand line in between some turns in the road, so that road becomes a more straight line, which is how we like to deal with fire. So that continues to happen along the Iron Phone Road and Camp 3 Road all the way down into Psalms Bar. We had folks still down in Oak Bottom area assessing and doing structure prep. We had folks down in the Ishi-Pishi area doing some assessments and developing plans and doing a little brushing around some residents down in the Ishi-Pishi area. Yesterday we also had folks work their way into some lookouts areas so that they could look down into Woolly Creek at the smokes that we still have kind of on the southwestern portion of this bulge down here. So they're looking down in that creek. And they worked some heavy helicopters down in that area, dropping water, holding the smokes that are there in place. Also took some flights, rotor wing flights down in the Steinecker Ridge area, and just continue to monitor that mostly by air right now. It's not moving, but there are some smokes up there. We'll be using helicopters to keep it in place as needed. Flights out to the east just continue to show that not a lot of activity, but there is a lot of smokes, and those are again holding in the heavier materials. A little bit of the fine fuels are burning, but mostly it's the heavier materials burning out and not really moving in any direction. As you come across the eastern flank of the fire, you'll notice that some of these big mouths, pockets that were in here, have kind of closed up. And if you notice on the statistics, it shows that the fire shrank, but then the containment grew. And what that does, when these mouths close up, the amount of line actually reduces, and then the containment actually increases. So we have a 36% containment right now, mostly due to these big pockets that were on the east side just filling in. And so that kind of describes what happened there and why the numbers look the way they do today. The Little Marble fire, we're going to extract the folks out of there today. They'll be walking out, and this is in patrol monitor status. So a lot of good work out there, finishing up their work. We'll continue to monitor this by air just to make sure everything stays within their containment lines, but we don't have any concerns with that fire. I think that's the biggest updates for today. The weather continues to be warm and dry. We're anticipating a little bit of a weather change maybe next week as we get a little bit of potential moisture into the area. But for the next several days, we'll continue to be warm and dry with winds shifting around. Woolly Creek yesterday, as I said earlier, was smoked in for most of the day, even though here in Orleans at our ICP, it's nice and clear. I think that's it for today. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.